Another biblical topic concept review. I've spoke on a few introductions on the doctrine of what this biblical woman is. A couple of them are rants. Go easy on me. It's righteous anger. It's righteous anger. But the biblical woman is your temple walls. It's this biblical woman, what it means to be a man dressed in women's clothes, what the Bible talks about. The woman are the garments of the great creation, which is Genesis 1:21, the great dragon. This is your Leviathan concept. It is a temple wall. Adam was never named. This is a generalization of mankind, and he is chosen from the beast of the field, the common sort. You go onto a compact, a promise of God. There's no boat. The ark is incredible, and it's a representation of this woman. Okay? When men dress themselves as women, it has nothing to do with their clothes, gender, sex, nothing. They drape themselves in policy, for example, legalese, false science, science falsely so called, and they believe they get all their power from that. This is how the woman turns into a whore, because you have men wearing her garment rather than the garment of Christ, rather than being clothed in the Father, the borders of the tzitzit, his ordinance, his laws. They twist and manipulate things through the Leviathan, turning it into a cauldron where your seeds are passed through the fire to that ruler, the mighty provider, instead of the Lord, which is a Tyree, which is a Peter. Okay? You are dressed in women's clothes. You are no longer the head, you are the tail. It has nothing to do with women in ties or men in dresses. It's the same difference on how this mighty provider gets his power from the Elohim rather than through the Father himself, straight from the Son. It's a big deal. Like Moses said, must we be the ones that bring forward waters through this rock? That's a little slip there. Little slip there. The biblical man in a women's clothes is, and you want to know how I discovered this? I was bitching about all the people on first shift who are negligent in their performance and production, and all they do is manipulate and twist and exercise policy to evade and avoid accountability. That is men dressed in women's clothes. For they use the Leviathan against you. They use the laws against you for their own benefit, and they will twist and manipulate it. And they proclaim they get all their power from this deception and this exercise and abuse of authority and power and privileges and immunities and protections. They remain unaccountable while they blame shift. Was it me? It was that bitch. That's a man dressed in women's clothes. Adam blamed Eve. I shall call her Eve. Mankind always does this. Mankind always does this. So that's wonderful revelation, that it has nothing to do with physical clothing. Men in women's clothes in the Bible are those draped with Egypt, basically. We shall have no God but Caesar. That is men dressed in women's clothes. We're not talking about cross-dressing here. We're not even talking about sex or gender. We're not even talking about sex or gender. So that is why a man should not wear women's clothes. This applies to girls too. You should walk with Christ. Yes, walk with Christ. Be in his garment, not in the garments of women. Boom. Amazing.